but is it good to ban things from platforms, or is it better to let it be out there and let people talk about it? Because if you ban it, then people want to hear it more.
No!
And then it becomes more popular. And then
Here we go.
Joe Rogan and other right-wingers are freaking out over Kanye West's new song. Emma Vigeland of The Majority Report broke all this down. We're going to take a look at clips from the Joe Rogan Experience as well as The Majority Report with Emma Vigeland. I'm going to share my thoughts on this as well. Let's get into it together.
Joe Rogan is weighing in on Kanye's new song. I don't know if people have heard it. But
he's got a whole new album. Don't just get stuck on the single.
Oh, the album with the swastika cover, or was that just his T-shirt the other day?
I think one of the deep cuts is like I gave oral sex to my cousin.
Oh, I heard that. Oh, don't you worry. Don't you remember I played that out on my phone on the speaker?
The album cover, I think he removed the swastika, and it's now like him in a KKK outfit or something like that. To be clear.
Is this
nice?
Is that the album?
This is Cuck. Yes, this is Cuck.
To be fair, the new song, which I won't say the title of, is way better musically than the Cousin song. Just in terms of
you're
like
about to.
I mean, look, the
you're
beats
about to hear Rogan make that case. What?
All I can
What'd
say,
you say?
Yeezus beats were great too.
Yeah.
No, but I literally think there's a point to that though, and I think it is dangerous because it's specifically made as a earhook song. Like it's not like so.
It's not a good song. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Cousins was really bad.
No, right. But there's a way. It's not the exact same, but think of commercial jingles. Those aren't good music. That's not good music, but it's created in a way specifically to get it caught in your head, so you're sharing the sentiment in the commercial. I really do feel like he went out of his way, or his producer went out of his way to make this song that, because that's what it is.
Well, you guys share an opinion with Joe Rogan here. Who says we can't build bridges? He also thinks it's catchy. This is his take on it.
I'm not saying it in a good way, though. I want to be clear.
Well, takes it. He'll grant the premise you guys are talking about, but he takes it in a different direction.
Me too. Oh my God, that's so funny. Speaking of the Jews, have you seen fucking Kanye's new song? Bro, what?
Here's the thing.
Wait, okay. Speaking of the Jews, we're already in a really bad spot here.
I'll just say, like, fuck Joe Rogan. He's somebody who, when Jordan Peterson was on, said, and they were talking about anti-Semitism, went out of his way more than Jordan Peterson did to make sure everyone knew that it was a left-wing problem. He's a despicable actor on this, despite every once in a while people clipping him say something like supposedly based. I guess let's run.
Bro. What? Here's the thing.
What? First of all, kind of catchy.
Well, that's the problem with it. That's the problem. It's like the guy from production, like he's never lost a step. He can make a beat. He can he's so talented.
He's a genius.
He's a talented producer, man.
Disagree.
I do think it's like.
Karen.
First of all, I think people are kind of done asking him questions because most of the shit he puts out is like self-release kind of commentary or thoughts. Because he's saying just fucking crazy,
This is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
But there is a thing where that song is like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are you doing for real?
It's the ultimate pushing back.
Yeah, I guess. But there is I think I have a pretty, let things go kind of vibe to me. Right?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Your fucking show.
Yeah.
Your show's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous show. And I've always been like, say whatever you're going to say. But I do think like making a catchy song about that, I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like you're just getting, at a minimum, you're just going to get more people that think it's cool to say Heil Hitler. Like that's at the minimum.
Well, I think that's part of the program. I think it's part of what he's trying to do.
But I mean, is that cool to do? I guess if you're like, well, it's fun to troll
the big question
masses and get them to do that. Okay. But what I'm saying is that like at a minimum, you're going to get less educated people to go like, this is a fun thing to say. And you're like, I mean, is that good? You really want people just walking around being like, it's tight, man? How Hitler? That's fucking insane. It's crazy.
It is crazy. But it's also kind of a sign of the times.
I guess.
This is a chaotic world we're living in.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this kind of highlights the benefits. I mean, I want to say this like carefully because I don't want to think I want to say real clearly. I don't support.
I don't want to piss off half my audience.
I don't think it's a good thing to say.
No.
I don't say it. I certainly don't think. I don't think.
You denied that Elon Musk threw 2 Hitler salutes like a few months ago. You said it was derangement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any racism is good. I'm saying that. I don't think it's a good thing to say.
No.
I don't say it. I certainly don't think. I don't think any racism is good. I don't think anti-Semitism is good. I don't think anti-Christianity is good. I don't think
big racism.
Hate is good. I don't think anything is good.
All religions matter.
There's a benefit to just letting people talk. Like, let people say whatever the fuck they want to say, even if it sucks. This is the benefit of Twitter. But this is also the bad part. It's like the fucking song has so many millions of hits on Twitter. It's been banned from every platform.
Yeah.
But is it good to ban things from platforms, or is it better to let it be out there and let people talk about it? Because if you ban it, then people want to hear it more.
No!
And then it becomes more popular. And then it...
Here we go. That was what I just wanted to get to. This is where the free speech debate has gone, okay? It's not on YouTube. It's not on Spotify. It's not on Apple Music. But you know where it is? He did mention it there. It's on Twitter. It's all over Twitter. And you got people doing TikTok dances on Twitter. I shouldn't even rope TikTok into this. Doing dances to a song called Heil Hitler. Like, I don't know, dude. Could you take a moral stand on that? Because this isn't free speech. It's driving me crazy.
Well, so
we have standards and regulations, and we did have that previously for things like television. We deregulated television in the 80s and into the 90s, but you still can't say certain things. You can't say profanity on certain channels until a certain time. You can't advertise certain things without disclaimers, etc. Like, there are regulations. Was that an incumbent? Was that a way to attack free speech? Because
this is a really great point that Emma Vigeland is making here. Now, Joe Rogan, in the clips that we're seeing here, he does not specifically talk about free speech. He talks about the song being banned from these various platforms, but he does not specifically use the term free speech. And this is something that there really needs to be a national conversation about, because so many people do not understand what free speech is. You see it on social media platforms all the time where people will say, it'll be Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and people will say, my post was taken down, they won't allow me to say this, my freedom of speech has been violated. No, your freedom of speech has not been violated. Freedom of speech only has to do with the government banning what people say. So if the government went and arrested Kanye West for releasing this song, then his freedom of speech is being violated. But if Spotify won't play Kanye West's song, that's not a violation of Kanye West's freedom of speech. Spotify can do whatever they want in terms of what they allow on their platform or don't allow on their platform. And that's really maybe what should come out of this, is for all of these networks and all of these YouTube channels and all of this to really explain to people what freedom of speech is and what freedom of speech is not. Now, Joe Rogan is making a different argument in terms of whether or not it should be on these various platforms. But Emma Vigeland is absolutely correct in what she's saying. A lot of this is still in place, that on TV networks, certain things are not allowed. And that is not a violation of freedom of speech, because it's not the government doing it. It's those networks or those various platforms.
This is the same thing. We just don't have the same regulations for our new communications platforms, which is social media. And so, yeah, we wouldn't on television have air somebody singing Heil Hitler over and over again. So we also shouldn't be able to allow it on our major communications platforms. And this is not a free speech issue, idiot.
I also just want to point out, and maybe this will come across like I'm making excuses for Kanye. I'm not making excuses for Kanye. I don't think his music has gotten or stayed as good. I think it's gotten a lot worse, and a lot.
Yeah, that was an outrageous claim by Tom Segura.
I think that really is just he's so famous and so rich. I don't want to come across as being like out of sync. I think his music is like just really not good, Hitler aside. But like Kanye, is seems like he's having a mental health crisis, like, and the right wing is forced to treat it like he's just being normal, like he's just trying to troll.
They did it
or
with
just trying
Fetterman.
to-
Remember
like,
they were
because-
trotting out Fetterman on Fox News and all that stuff?
Yeah, because he's still very famous because he's Kanye West, and now he's saying things that they can, so at least some of them, like the Nick Fuentes types, can genuinely be aligned with. And then of course he's indexing this larger, like, well, I don't want someone as big as Kanye to be cancelable because what does that say about me? That kind of like status defense that public figures engage in no matter what happens or what the person does because they're afraid of how that blows back on them. But Kanye is not doing well, and I think this is a cautionary tale of like the dangers of being in a position of really high prominence and the ability to put people on, and how they will enable you to the point in which you like self-destruct and pretend like things are just like okay. Also, like I can concede part of Joe Rogan's point that like making something taboo does oftentimes cause a subsection of the population to fetishize it. But we've also cultivated that mentality in people. People like Joe Rogan have actively cultivated that mentality in people. Right. And now people can like monetize it. So it's not as though people are just like biologically entirely predisposed to engaging in like pursuing out the taboo. It's that like there is a subsection of the population who's become very cynical about their chances in the job market. And now they're just trying to monetize like slurs generally. We have more professional racists now than we've ever had in our history of the country, surprisingly, including probably slavery. And now people are just like mirroring that. That's why they want to put Kanye West on, because they're parasitic to Kanye West. He has billions of dollars probably still. It's very sad, the kind of situation and economy we've created, and presenting it as though Kanye's just trying to mess with the set dressing. It's like, no, even the song says what's going on. The song is just like, I'm having a mental health crisis because my wife left me and all these other things happen. Right. And so I'm promoting Hitler because my kids will at least hear about it. And like it's very sad. And they're just like, oh, this is look at how like a good of an artist he is. Like this, to me, the same with the John Fetterman thing. Like I feel slightly sad for both of them, because there are clearly people around them that don't care enough about them to see that this is headed in a very bad, very dark direction.
I mean, YouTube has for a long time had a policy where it removes content that glorifies Nazi ideology. Is Joe Rogan? First of all, I don't remember Joe Rogan having a problem with this until Kanye got involved here. So is the idea that free speech is really for the people at the top of society to continue doing what they do and not getting impeded by it? Of course, like nobody should think that Facebook also should allow the president of the United States to break their moderation thing, but that's really what free speech is for these guys. Or certain people don't have to be edited by The Intercept or something like that. Like free speech is to let the elites cook.
But is he saying anything about the students that are not anti-Semitic, that just happen to be Muslim or Arab or Palestinian?
He's saying there's a lot of anti-Semitism on the left.
Yeah, I mean if you are a free speech advocate, if you are a free speech advocate and you are not raising hell about the imprisonment of people for their speech, but you're now saying Kanye should be able to sing Heil Hitler on Spotify for free speech, gotta say, I don't really know if I believe and buy the sincerity of your free speech beliefs.
And Emma Vigeland is correct about this. What she's talking about there with students being arrested, those are actual cases of freedom of speech violations. Those are people addressing their own views and then them being arrested. So that is actual freedom of speech violations, as opposed to what's happening with Kanye. Millions of people have been able to listen to the song. Kanye hasn't been locked up over that. So it's not a freedom of speech issue. Now, in terms of what Brandon Sutton was saying here about the banning, there is, like he said, way back in the 80s with horror movies. Didn't happen as much here in the United States, but it happened in the UK. They had something called the video nasties, where there were certain movies that they just wouldn't allow on home video. And, did that cause people to seek those out? Maybe. Same thing with certain video games that had controversial content that were banned. Did that make kids want to play them more? Maybe. But just because something is quote unquote banned does not mean that everybody wants to see that or listen to that. You know, they were talking about content glorifying Nazis being banned from platforms. I don't think the vast majority of people, you know, outside of this Kanye West song are out there searching out Nazi content. You know, that just because it's banned, people are not saying, oh, I want to see that or watch that or read that or whatever. So I think that's a great point by Brandon Sutton here. But let me know what you think about all of this. Do you agree with Emma Vigeland and the rest of the majority report that it's okay if these various platforms don't allow this particular song, and if Kanye continues to make this kind of very controversial music, should it be banned from these platforms? And just in terms of Kanye himself, it seems like there's a lot of negative reinforcement going on here where, like Brandon says that he, you know, there definitely seems to be real mental health issues there, but he seems to be continually rewarded for doing these outrageous, controversial things. I'm sure Kanye has made a ton, not that he needs money, but has made a ton of money off of this song. So it seems like he's just continually doing these controversial things. And instead of people just saying, we don't want to listen to that, and the song coming out and flopping, it becomes huge, at least in part because people like Joe Rogan and all these other right-wingers and people on the left, like the Majority Report, are talking about it. Let me know what you think about all of that. Do you agree with Joe Rogan? Do you agree with Emma Vigeland? Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'm Chris on Culture, and I will see you in the next video.